All right, y'all. Jumping on here for a little bit. I want to talk about some fights. Man, a lot of action going down or went down this past weekend, man. I'm talking about fight card after fight card. I mean, Friday, Saturday. It was wild, man. Man, Marcus, I was like on three different screens. What's up? Hold on. Let me pull these. I'm gonna pull some things up here. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good weekend though, man. Good weekend of fights. So I just wanted to jump on here and do some discussion, man, because we had some good, entertaining fights for WMMA. Um, I'm still a little upset that we didn't get the one fight. Of course, it had to work out that way, man. The one fight I really wanted to see, the Kareem Silva and Cachoeira fight, didn't happen. That was the one that I was really looking forward to. I mean, that and the Melissa Croden fight I was looking forward to. Uh, but for the UFC, that was the one, man. But I mean, Yasmin Lucindo, she made up for it though. She made up for it. I mean, she put on a good performance. With Bellator, man. Bellator's action was on point though. I mean, I think Bellator is definitely, with having back-to-back cards. Pretty much both the women and the men's fights, they were on point to me. Uh, Here and there, a few of the fights were okay, but the action on Saturday, it was solid. You had some good fights. Let's see, how many did we have for Bellator? Like 5 or 6, I think. Let me see. 295 had like 3, and then 294, I think, you had the Liz and Deanna fight. And Sarah McMann was making her debut. So that was the second fight. Yeah, so they had some good action, man. Yeah. Happy Sunday, Ernest. Yeah, man. It's Sunday night now. It was a nice day. The temperature was fine. But now the weekend's about over. So yeah, man. It's one of them weekends where I be kind of hung over from the previous days. I mean, when you have back-to-back nights like this, you got one night or Friday, all these cards coming on. You have boxing on Saturday. The Tank fight was okay. I mean, the Tank Ryan fight, it was what I expected. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Like, people out here making this thing a big deal, like making like Ryan Garcia, like he had a big chance. People betting money on Ryan. That was just plain stupid right there. I mean, I know if you like a fighter, you gotta represent him, but don't put money on it if you know for a fact. That's how I am too. Like, there's a lot of fighters I like, but when it comes down to telling the truth, I'm gonna tell the truth too. Like, I'm not gonna fake it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna fake it. Like, if I know somebody's not on that level, I ain't even gonna do that. I ain't gonna put money on it. You actually had people putting money on Ryan Garcia just to put money on him. I was like, all right, y'all ain't rich like he is, so if you want to go broke, fine. That's y'all. You know what I mean? So you can like Ryan, but let's be real. Like, let's say I was a Ryan fan, I would still say, oh, he's getting knocked out by Tank. Okay. I would still say he's getting knocked out by Tank. It's just like with Juliana Pena. I like Juliana Pena, but I don't think she's going to win the third fight with Amanda Nunes. Okay. So, all y'all that put like thousands on Ryan, hey, I feel bad for y'all. Oh, what's up, Kareem? What's going on? Yeah, hit the like button. Yeah, notifications don't really go out too much. So, I'm just on here for a little bit talking anyway, as long as y'all are here. But anyways, yeah, man, let's kind of go through some of these fights this weekend, man. I got to go back here and talk about this championship fight here, man. There was some levels shown, and Jacqueline Cavalcanti taking on Melissa Croden, it just opened up, opened up a lot of hardcore eyes for me. Fighters like fight fans like me just say, oh wow, like, yeah, man, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here. Melissa Croden, She showed heart, durability, and some power, but Cavalcanti was just 2, 3 steps ahead of her in this game, man. I mean, this is what I'm talking about with like MMA striking. Like Cavalcanti on this level is showing, um, I think like the tools to be like a solid MMA striker. Like Melissa Croton, good form, you know, has that karate stance. At times she'll throw some nice jabs and some right hands. But, as the competition steps up, you're going to see certain things like, will she be able to adjust? Will she be able to use timing to slow the speed down, like of Cavalcanti? And she couldn't, Cavalcanti just was having too many moments with her speed. Good, 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 good lateral movement, good calf kicks, just really beating up the lead leg of Melissa Croton in this fight. And I thought it was about to be over in the first round. I mean, when she stepped in and she beat her to the punch, she dropped her with that right hand. I was like, oh man, here we go. Dropped her once. She gets up, left hook, down again, trying to get up, down again, down again. It was like 2 solid knockdowns, but the 2 after were just like her trying to get to her feet. And, Cavalcanti just, planting them shots on her. And that just set the pace right there. I was like, okay, now I see like Cavalcanti just, steps ahead, not just off of speed, but technique too. She's touching, she's measuring the range, she's letting it go, not just loading up, man. Croton was just looking to throw singles here, she's got power, but it's like the power comes from her being heavy handed and, having the big legs, but there's no speed behind it. So there's really no way for her to catch up. Like a lot of it was being telegraphed. And the way she bounces on the balls of her feet, and she'll just kind of like drop her hands. Like I was telling Marcus that we were talking about this, I was DMing him and I was just like, yo, I'm watching this fight again, Marcus. And I just see her doing this little thing where she drops her hands. And I'm like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like making you predictable now. You drop your hands and all the while, like she's bouncing, she's not bouncing out of range. So Cavalcanti's just constantly just, tagging her lead leg. She's just constantly tagging that lead leg over and over. And it's not really like taking away her movement, but it's still opening her up to shots upstairs. Like you see here, man, like the jab and that check left hook. And then she's getting hit with these right hands. So yeah, the MMA striking of Cavalcanti was, much more impressive than I thought it was going to be. And like I said, they both have good forms, but for what? Like Melissa Croton's form is more for karate, or she's boxing because she was just setting this slow pace. Cavalcanti was more looking like, I won't say like like a pure Amanda Nunes, but she's got the stance down and she's got the feints down. Like her feints were really opening up a lot of opportunities, and she was just beating Melissa Croton to the punch. There was really no plan B of turning into a wrestler at this point. Even when she tried to go for a takedown, she was getting cracked, cracked on the inside with the dirty boxing. So yeah, a lot of work that needs to be done. And, like I said, I had my eye on her, but not once was I saying she was ready for like the UFC. The UFC is a long way off. See a few things with her in the beginning, but this is what you got to do. You got to be tested. I mean, heart and durability is something you can't question in her, but as far as her picking up the speed, that's another story. That's something she's got to go back to the drawing board and work on, if you can. Like, if you can't do that, then maybe the style needs to change to be more physical. With her strength and her size, I was expecting her to be more of a physical fighter in there, but she just never made that adjustment. Cavalcanti, on the other hand, like I think she has it down where she knows her size, she knows how to move, she knows her own timing. So activity. She had the gas tank, you know, 5 rounds. She went 5 rounds here, took Melissa Croton's punches. So I think that was another discouraging moment for Melissa Croton. So now she won the belt. You know, she said she was willing to defend it, or she'd be willing to be signed. Me personally, they could use her in the UFC, of course. They can use her in the bantamweight division, but I don't know. I still would rather see her defend the belt and take her time. But we know when they make that call, we know how it goes when they make that call. These fighters are going to answer. So as long as she works on her takedown defense and she keeps it going, she hopefully could be fine, you know, but we'll see. Yeah, Croton, man, I just didn't like a lot of the things that she was doing as far as, you know, staying on the balls of her feet, you know, bouncing and bouncing like that. Like that trickery, or if it was supposed to be like a feint or a trick, was not working. You know, stuff like that might work in boxing or kickboxing, but Cavalcanti was just waiting. She was like, all right, I'm gonna let her do what she do, but she's not completely out of range. So I'm gonna keep hitting this lead leg because it's here. I'm gonna just keep beating the lead leg up. And then when she steps in, boom, I'm catching her over the top. So yeah, that was a good performance. First time I watched it, I said, okay, maybe it was 3-2, but second time I watched it, I said 4-1, or even a clean sweep. I think Croton understood that she needed a knockout. So when she came on strong in 4, it might have been a little too late. Maybe she might have won round 5, but I could have seen, yeah, one judge had it like 50-45. So yeah, I ain't arguing with that. Could have, like I said, 4-1 or clean sweep, but that's just being honest. You know, she has to go back and work. You know, you can't wait like this, and you can't waste a lot of your strengths like this. You know, she's big, she's physical. You know, physically, she has size. You know, so she needs to be more dirty in there at times. You know, stop trying to fight this technical fight against a quicker, more polished MMA striker. You know, so let me see. Yeah, I think she'll probably go for the contract now because, you know, they need fighters. They need fighters, and there was another girl they just signed. I think the one fighting Jessica Rose Clark. So yeah, they might be trying to jump in to sign fighters. Who was the other girl? What was her name? What is that girl's name? I'm trying to think of her. The Russian, was it the girl they call the Russian Ronda Rousey? So I mean, if they signed her and she's like 4-1, you know, Cavalcanti just picked up a belt, so they'll probably sign her next. You know, so that's kind of what I see. Let me see. Hold on. UFC needs to let Croton marinate some more in the LFA before recruiting her. Needs to defend her belt a few times. Yeah, I see the same thing, man. You know, get a few more fights. You know, get a few more fights. There's no need to rush it. I think, you know, moving from organization to organization is much better. You know, aside from the UFC, you know, go from LFA to Invicta and so on. That I think that's what you have to do. You know, clean out other organizations before you jump to the UFC. But I think a lot of fighters, they just say, oh, when they win that belt and the UFC eyes them and they sign them, they're ready to go, you know. So we'll see. But yeah, Croton go back to the drawing board and work. A lot of technical things that she needs to sharpen up on. Man, like I said, Bellator had me. They had me taking my hat off to them this weekend, man. Saturday, honestly, I still hadn't. I watched like a couple rounds of the Lima Lay kind of Watanabe fight, and I know, you know, a lot of people are feeling like could have went to Kana Watanabe, but I have to watch that again. I'm gonna watch that again. Sarah McMann, though, man. Sarah McMann looked good. Sarah McMahon looks good at this weight. And I gotta give her a lot of credit, man, because already 41 years old, still pushing that strength, still determined, willing to come into Bellator and just fight a ranked fighter off top. 42. Sarah McMahon's 42. I got to give her some credit. Sarah McMahon went in there and 30-27. Arlene Blenko had a scare in the third round. Blenko did drop her, but she bounced back up. All right. So Sarah McMahon used her IQ. She stuck to what she knows. Out wrestled, just out grappled, just out strength Arlene Blenko. And this is what I was saying, man. Like, I think Sarah McMahon, she has, she, in the past, I think she was kind of being held back being at 135. Like, she could always make the weight, but when you see her body just being the majority of her body being muscle, I was like, man, imagine if she doesn't have to make such a rough weight cut. If she fights at 145, you'll probably see like her strength really show. And I know Arlene Blenko is more of a kickboxer, but Sarah McMahon still showed how she can handle, a full on featherweight. And I say she seems a little bit more determined because I'm just kind of comparing it to Kat Zingano's debut, and not disrespecting Kat. I'm just saying like Kat came in and she fought a couple of unranked fighters right off top. Like she had to, find her rhythm. And even when she did, she didn't look as dominant. I think she fought, what was her name? Gabrielle Holloway. I mean, she clearly won that fight, but still, like, there was still some close moments. And then she had a gimme fight against Olivia Parker. And she was kind of only fighting like once a year, At the same time, it was always like, oh, we want to fight. We want to fight Chris Cyborg. We want to fight. Do you really? I mean, it seems like it's taking a while, but Sarah McMahon seems to want to fight for the belt now. I mean, she's, like I said, she came in, she's fought a ranked fighter right off top. See, Kat fought unranked fighter. Then she fought Pam Bam, who was at the bottom of the ranks. Then she fought Leah McCourt, all in the time span of 3 years. Still hasn't fought Arlene Blenko herself. Still hasn't fought Sinead Kavanaugh. I'm trying to think of some other fighters that were at the top. Well, Julia Budd was already out, right? So, yeah, she hadn't fought any of those fighters. But, Sarah, she came in, took out one of the higher ranked fighters in Bellator, and, she seems ready to go now. So, to me, honestly, I would rather see Sarah versus Chris Cyborg or Kat versus Sarah McMahon for like a title eliminator. I mean, or for the vacant title. I don't know, whatever's going on with the belt right now. That might be interesting. That might be the way to go. Just make Kat and Sarah fight, former UFC fighters. I kind of want to see that matchup just because, I think that the wrestling aspect would be interesting. I'm a striking fan, but I would like to see how that would play out. I like to see who would be stronger on the ground and who would be more committed. Because, Sarah came in this fight ready to go. She came in ready to strike with Arlene, but she knew how to take it to the ground with ease. She knew how to switch her levels. Like even when even in the third round when she got dropped, she got back up, hung on, took the fight back to where she is comfortable and controlled it. Kat, of course, she's been using her wrestling in the fights as well, but I'm not sure about her striking if she's committed as she used to be. She just doesn't seem as committed as she used to be, like even landing her knees. So to me, I think a title eliminator between the two would be interesting because I don't know, Sarah with this win is probably going to put her in the number 1, number 2 spot now, right under Kat. And with Kat taking Arlene, like former title contender, you can honestly say that the opponent she's taking on is a little bit more credible than the unranked fighters that Cass fought. So she's come right in off top, winning the fight high level, So I would like to see that. But that was a good fight. The Liz Deanna fight was okay. I think the thing that turned me off was that Deanna missed weight by 4 pounds, and I wanted to see a fight that was legit on the line. Liz put it on the line though. She said, "Hey, she wins, it still counts as a title defense. If she loses, the belt comes vacant." So in that situation, honestly, like I like Deanna Bennett, but it would have been hard to see her win. Then after that, it's not like she's gonna get the belt. It's like, okay, after that, now what? The belt's vacant again. Who's gonna fight for it now? So Deanna Bennett beats her to make her vacate the belt. But what does that mean now? Does Deanna have to make weight next time around and fight for the belt again? Or actually fight for the belt against Liz in the third fight? I guess so, right? But I thought Liz had good moments. Well, Deanna had good moments in this fight. And I said by round 3, she was ahead like 2-1, with some of her wrestling and her ground control. But eventually Liz Carmouche, she took over. Put a lot of weight on Deanna Bennett, was able to get that top control and just outmaneuver and control. So I thought that was impressive of Sarah McMann. Not Sarah McMann, Liz Carmouche, she was down, but she never was out. Even with her hand game, she was still landing and had full control by round 4. But let me see, Deanna Bennett, how much did she miss weight by? Like 4 pounds or something like that? Yeah, I think so. But the fights, man, the fights that had me going were, oh man, hold on. Oh, as I'm saying, Bennett was up 3 rounds by the judges. Was she? I think the second round was pretty competitive. It could have went either way. I did give Bennett rounds 1 and 3. But yeah, round 2, I did give to Liz because I didn't really think that last takedown that Bennett got, or even like the control she had, was really doing much. I thought the strikes that Liz Carmouche landed in the second won her the round. Nah. So yeah, I thought it was 2-1 to me, but if they had her up by 3, shoot, Liz Carmouche was still in it though. So yeah, Saturday, man, the fights that entertained me, I'd say the most, the ones I just did videos on, I said the Samiko Inaba fight against Vitor Arteaga and Bruna Ellen and Alar Yawani. That was just a good scrap. Ellen, I had to pick her in that fight because when it came down to it, I said I think she's more committed to, her stand up, and she doesn't stick her chin out a lot. Alar Yawani almost got stopped in this fight a couple of times. Just stepping in, winging them hooks, eyes closed, chin out. Bruna Ellen was tagging her, man. Like Bruna Ellen was tagging her with some good hits. So yeah, that was a good scrap. I already talked about that one, but yeah, Inaba, I was impressed with her movement, overall striking selection. Just keeping Vitor Arteaga at bay with the jab. Like I said, that's a good test for her. We need to see a little bit more, of course, but for how she handled a dog and Vitor Arteaga, I got to take my hat off to her. She's legit. She's the one. I think she's one of the next contenders at this weight. Because even some of the other fighters that are in the top 5 now, they couldn't handle Vitor Arteaga like that. What was her name? Denise Skillholt. She got submitted. Who else had fought her? It's one girl's name that's gone from Bellator. She's fought over at PFL. Dang. I'm trying to think of her name. Hold on, I look it up. Yeah, Desiree Yanez. Desiree Yanez. Oh man, she submitted Vanessa Porto too. You know what I mean? Like she submitted Vanessa Porto, submitted Denise Killholtz. She beat Emily Ducote. And Who else did she beat? Yeah, Laura beat her. Yeah, Laura had beat her. Alima Leia beat her. But yeah, I was impressed how she had submitted Vanessa Porto. And well, Denise Kill, she's been submitted before. But yeah, like you got to give credit to a fighter like Inaba. You know, she showed her IQ, stuck to her game, fought off a good jab, good combinations, just all around good control, you know? So yeah, I think she is going to be one of the ones you see rise up in this division. And I think Tamika Inaba versus Deanna Bennett wouldn't be a bad fight. Or Justine Keech, you know, let her fight a UFC level fighter or former UFC level fighter. Or Velasquez at this point. Yeah, Juliana Velasquez. You know, Juliana Velasquez lost 2 times to Liz Carmouche. Make her fight down. Make her fight one of these young, hungry fighters that's coming up the rankings. Samika is 6-0. So I guess by what? Monday or Tuesday when they put the new rankings out, she'll be probably like mid-rank now. Let me look at Bellator's rankings. Let me see what they have right now. I mean, I hate to seem like I'm overhyping somebody, but at 6-0, man, like Samika Inaba and the skill set she possesses, I would love to see her in the UFC, man. But the thing is, you know, she's already 32. So wherever she's going to go for a belt, you know, she's got to go for it soon. And right now, she's already ranked in the Bellator flyweight division. So, you know, she's going to have to stick it out here now. You know, Samiko is number 9 right now. So, she's already ranked over Justine Keech. So, nah, she shouldn't fight Justine Keech. She just beat the number 7. So, probably she'll be number 7 next week. Denise Kielholtz has a fight coming up against an unranked fighter. So let's say Samiko becomes number 6 or 7. She might fight Afsaragova. That's a good fight. But maybe they'll make them fight when they both get in the top 5. I guess maybe, Deanna Bennett would be good if she wants to come back and she can make weight. Denise Kielholtz, win or lose her next fight. Well, Afsaragova is probably the only open fighter. That'd be battle of undefeateds, but I don't know if that would be too early to watch or too early to see right now. But yeah, I was impressed, man. I think that her striking is something a lot of these other girls they can learn from. Definitely have to learn from how she keeps that range, you know, how she mixes it up, how she switched southpaw a few times to land a head kick and threw the right jab, then switch right back to orthodox, goes right back to pumping the orthodox jab out. Cardio was solid. You know, she was in and out. You know, it takes a lot to switch stances like that and just be quick on the draw. You know, some of that is draining, mentally draining. So, you know, she really had the stamina to go maybe 5 rounds, you know, and I was impressed. You know, she has a lot going for her. I hope she can get a title shot soon. I don't know if that's rushing her because I would like to see her go to the UFC at least maybe by like in a couple years, you know, because her being 32, I don't know if, you know, she'll hit her ceiling within a year or two, and then that, you know, might slow down and be game for some of these bigger physical grapplers. But with her approach, similar to Natalia Silva, you know, she could probably do it. I think she could. High five us if he's a former champ woman has gout. Which one? Former champ has gout. Who? Ronda Rousey, former woman champ. And obviously said, Osama said Nava pieces after go up easy. Yeah, I think so too. That would be something they would probably make down the line. Afsaragova, a little slow on the draw. There's one fight that I think she had lost like a couple fights ago. It wasn't really like a stunner. Like Afsaragova had one big fight, I think, that put her on the map, that Terra Graf fight. But I think Samiko Inaba, she's actually improving. as she steps it up. Good work, definitely. Um, what else here? Uh, what other fight I want to talk about? That fight, Brunel. Yeah, like I said, the Lee Malay. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that fight though. Got to go back and watch that one. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. Had to fix my connection here. It's kind of always connects to the wrong service in my house here. Okay, Marcus said Inaba's hands will be problematic for a lot of women flyweight fighters at Bellator. Oh yeah, and she moves up the rankings. I think her and Denise Kielholtz, that would be a crazy striking battle right there. Dynamite got hands too, and if it turns into like a striking match, uh, Denise, good kickboxer. Samika, I think the one thing I would say she does do a little bit better than Denise from what I've seen is keep range and not take as many hits. I think Denise, she can get drawn into fights sometimes. She can get drawn into fights like firefights. And I think that's what can cause her to fall behind. But with her head kicks, just natural ability, Denise Kielholtz, if they can meet in the middle, definitely be a good fight. Definitely be a good fight. I mean, I'm gonna give Denise Kielholtz the edge because of experience, but with IQ and hand speed of Inaba, it would be a good fight. I'm saying that it would be a good fight because really, what Denise Kielholtz has to worry about in this division is grapplers, right? That's her real issue. Still, her grappling and making reckless choices and stepping into submissions. But if she's fighting somebody on the level like this, I can see her cutting the cage off, setting up something with her head kicks. Um, I can see Samiko establishing her jab. That'd be a good fight. So Denise Kills has a fight coming up. Let me see who she's fighting again. I can't remember the girl's name because she's not ranked. So win or lose, I would like to see that fight next. And hold on. Let me see. Girl's name who she's fighting. Oh, they have it up here. Okay, Denise Kielholtz is taking on Paula Christina, who's 6-5 or 6-1. Sorry, 28-year-old Brazilian. This is her first fight. She's from UAE. She's fought in Brazil. All right, so this is kind of like a tune-up fight. Okay, she's fought Simone De Silva before, and this girl's lost to Dakota Dechiva back in UAE. So also there's one loss. So yeah, she's still kind of a green fighter. So I guess you can kind of see it as a little bit of a tune-up for Denise Kielholtz. But we'll see. But yeah, I want to see Samika rise up in these rankings, man. I do. Oh, High Five said Rose. Both her big toes are out of form. Nobody realizes she has health issue. Understandable for taking longer to come back. I didn't know that. I did not know that she is that why she's out? She had oh wow, that's messed up. She's still young too. I mean, is it the form? Like you think it might be the form of how she's been kicking or I, yeah, I didn't know she had gout, man. Dang. I have to look that up. Denise versus Inaba will be a banger. Yeah. High Five said Connor should have won, but McFarlane's going to retire after her final fight. It's just a business decision factor to give her the win. Yeah, I got to go back and look at the fight. Like, I know Alima won the first round. She was landing pretty good shots, but I came back on the third round and it looked pretty tight. I missed the second, so I got to go back and check that one out. Lariawani would get pieced up by Naba. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't even want to see that at this point because she'll disappoint me and get pieced up, man. She'll get controlled. She'll walk into something crazy, might get dropped. I don't even want to see that right now. I about said Denise is explosive, but she needs better defense. Yeah, her head gets lit up. Yeah, like that would be the downfall in this fight. Like she's explosive, but Inaba's got the hand speed. If she stays in and out, she pieces her up. She'll piece her up. So Denise got to be smart in that fight if it happens. Let's see, Dacheva. These crazy gifted, great length and range. She walked through this Swedish girl last fight who's pretty tough normally. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Dachiva's pretty good. I mean, I didn't even know her mom was a kickboxer too. So, it runs in the family. Mom's a fighter. Yeah, Denise Dachiva has a kill switch. She goes after it, and she's working on her submission game. Yeah, she submitted the girl she fought last, right? So she's not just a knockout artist. She's going for the grappling aspect as well too. So yeah, as Dakota Dachiva, she targets the UFC. She's doing right to just grow as a fighter. And build up her skills. I think the way she's being moved right now is probably the best way. Like if the UFC is off like another 2 or 3 years, that's fine because the flyweight division is packed right now. She's part of another era that's coming in, I think. So if she wants to wait it out another 2, that's cool with me. They just signed Ivana Petrovic as well. And, I still think that I think it's a little premature for her, but we'll see. I think Petrovic has the ability to adjust. Her ground game is good. So if she can continue to build off her grappling, maybe she'll be safe. She does have height and reach on her size. She's long. If she continues to put, her striking together, maybe we'll see something. I think Petrovic's like 5'8", 5'9", so she's a pretty tall, long fighter. Let me see. I said Arteaga is a dog who beat Emily. Yeah. Yeah, she's got a good resume. She's beat Keelholt. She submitted Keelholt. She submitted Vanessa Porto. She's beat Emily Ducote. You got to be on your game to beat her. So, yeah, when Inaba came in and did what she did, I said, yeah, she is solid. She's a serious flyweight, yeah. Yeah, 32, I hope she can make it. I hope she can make it to the UFC. That's why I said get a quick title shot here pretty soon and move on. Because, man, my fantasy fight right now is Natalia Silva versus Samiko Inaba. Just those 2 style matchups. I said Conor Watanabe should be in the UFC. I think Conor needs to work on her defense a little more. She gets that chin touched a lot. I mean, she does have a good wrestling base and she is strong. So I think when it comes down to pure grappling, yeah, she could hang with the best of them. She could hang with the best of the grapplers in the division. Like Conor might go in there. Conor Watanabe probably could beat somebody like Andrea Lee. I think so. But then she would wind up losing to somebody like Macy Barber, that's accurate. You know what I mean? Or Conor could beat somebody like Casey O'Neill because she's that good of a wrestler. She's physically strong and she's very technical. So Conor might go in there and beat somebody like Casey O'Neill, but then get knocked out by like a Macy Barber. But she could hang with some of these other girls that can't hit hard in the UFC, Watanabe versus Lipsky won't go the distance. Oh, no. No. Yeah, that exactly. That's what she has to get by first. Exactly. She's got to get by those type of strikers first, right? High five said Conor Watanabe versus Tatiana. Yeah. Like before we get the wrestler versus wrestler, yeah, she fights like one of them hard-hitting strikers. Yeah. She's got to pass those type of tests first. You know what I mean? Like she could probably go in there and beat she could probably go in there and beat somebody like JJ Aldridge. But man, y'all are killing me. Watanabe versus Priscilla, man. What you trying to do, man? Said it won't go the distance, man. Y'all trying to get her killed. Conor versus Robinson. Now that would be a fair fight. I mean, I think Conor would win that. Well, Conor is stronger. Robinson's much slicker with her jiu-jitsu. It depends. It really depends in that situation. But her weakness is strikers, though. Her weakness is the right hands. Alar Yawani almost got her out of there, but she just didn't have the IQ to capitalize. So if you're dealing with somebody who's polishing their hits, like Lipsky, getting sharper with her right hand, yeah, Lipsky might put her out. But it's like a pick and choose them type of thing, man. It's like a pick 'em, choose them type of situation at the top. Like other grapplers, she might fare well against, but when she dealing with those right hands on certain fighters, she get hurt. She will. But let's talk about this Yasmin Lucindo fight versus Brogan, man. Yeah, man, the Tough House girls, they're not looking like killers out there right now. Tough House girls, Juju, she came in, got schooled. Brogan, oh my goodness, Brogan just looked like she didn't belong in this fight, man. Like Brogan Walker. Well, let me say this first off. I personally didn't see the signing of Brogan coming here. Like, I really didn't. I didn't. Because of the performance that she had against Juju, it didn't really call for a signing right away. No hate, just being honest. I thought Brogan was going to go back to Invicta or something and get worked, get some work in. But what she did, I was like, what's going on here? Brogan, like, why y'all signing her? I don't get it. Brogan Walker, the body language of her in the Tough House, some of the fights that she had, even with like Gallardo, wasn't really impressive. Gallardo, I think it was Gallardo, had moments. Yeah. I still wasn't really impressed, and then after that, after she lost to Juju, I kind of thought she'd go back to the drawing board, get some work in. Then they signed her. They signed her right away, and I was like, wow, that would have been a contract I think they could have held off on. Yasmin Lucindo, I thought, okay, this might be the time for her to do her thing. Like I was like at strawweight, I was like already watching her. Then when I heard this sign, I was like, okay, now y'all throwing her off course. I was like, oh, y'all throwing her off course now. She got to step up, fight a veteran, and fight 125. But man, Yasmin Lucindo, she showed out. She said, I don't care if this is a veteran, man. I don't care. I'm going here and get this work in. Yasmin Lucindo looked like a killer in there. And I got to give her a lot of credit. Like, this ain't overhyped with Yasmin Lucindo. Understand, this girl's 21 and she's already fighting confident. Like, she's not shelling up. She's not holding back like some of these other girls do. Like some of these other girls who aren't confident in their hands, that are older. She's ready to go. I'm not going to say she's ready for top 10 or top 15 yet, but she's showing the promise. Like, Lucindo is holding her ground, and she held her ground against a veteran in here. So that tells you something. She might, like I said, might not deserve to be signed yet, but with the way Lucindo is taking her approach, just shows you that this girl is younger and ready to go. She's only had the one fight that she's lost, close loss to Haurigi, but other than that, she's coming back with intensity. And the way she controlled this fight on the feet, on the ground, if she wanted to, just showed me that, okay, she could probably step up her level a little bit more than some of these other girls. She doesn't really need to be sheltered. I don't think she's one to want to be sheltered either. Lucindo's making a wise choice. She's fought at 125 in her early career, but I think she knows her body and she knows her She knows her goal right now and where she would fit best in 115. Yeah, that's a perfect division for her right now. Because I think flyweight's just flooded right now. And yeah, there are bigger fighters there. But with her being like 21, 5'3", and just the way her body looked in this fight, if she took that weight off, she'd be much sharper, much quicker and stronger. You know, good good instinct too, man. Like not like killer instinct, but I think Lucinda made good choices, just like the way she steps back and she looks at the big picture. You know, she's eyeballing everything that Brogan's doing. So even with all this lateral movement that Brogan is doing, Lucinda doesn't really have to reset. Like she's still got her in her target. Like she's still right there in target. So every time Brogan tries to be slick and step in, boom, she cracks it with that right hand, which she'll throw combinations and knock her back. And even in the clinches, see, boom, she's taking her down, going right to full mount. So yeah, like right now, out of the green fighters, Yasmin Lucindo's looking like this green Amanda. You know, as I was saying in my fight companion yesterday, I was like, Yasmin's looking like this green version of Amanda Nunes right now. You know, she's got, you know, some drive. She's controlling right now from a distance, and she's banging. You know, she's coming in there, hitting, clocking these girls hard. Still early to tell, I know. Still early to tell. I'm just saying, like, I like this control from a 21-year-old. Again, this girl's got a lot of fights on her resume. Been fighting since she was 15. Go back and look at her resume. This girl's got a lot of fights. A lot more fights than some of these other girls. I think I was looking at her resume earlier. Girl already fought Gabriela Fernandez early in her career. I believe it could have been amateur or what, but yeah, she fought Gabriela Hernandez early in her career. So she's already seen some of these other girls that we think are new. Who else has she fought, if I can remember? What's that one girl's name? Y'all remember Sarah Froda? Y'all remember Sarah Froda? She was she was in the UFC for a little while. She was in the UFC like maybe 3-4 years ago. Y'all remember Sarah Froda? She's fought her already and beat her. You know? So let me think. How old was she when she did that? That was like when she was like 18, 19. Yeah. So Lucindo got some experience. Lucindo's got some like raw experience. And I think she's got those natural abilities like some of these other fighters I talk about, like Macy Barber, that you just can't teach. You know, she can go in there and hit. She can go in there and bang, and she ain't scared. Like, she's not scared of like letting the O go. It's not about that. Like, that's gone now. Like, that time is past. So when a fighter doesn't have to worry about letting the O go, they can feel a little bit more open to do anything and try different things. And then they find out they're better at that when they do that. Yeah, she was supposed to fight Melissa Martinez, but that fight got canceled. Oh man, I think she would have stopped Melissa Martinez. Zama said he thinks Haurigi lost that fight to Lucindo. Like I said, I'm gonna go back and watch it. Because there was a lot of trading in that fight, though. I wouldn't mind seeing them run it back when they both get up into the top 10 or something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch that. I think Yasmin Lucindo makes from this fight, she's been making better choices. Like I know she was fighting somebody like Brogan that wasn't really letting go, but I think she was not putting her chin out there as much. I mean, she took some wild chances like with the flying knee and the spinning back kicks and stuff, but I think she was comfortable trying that because Brogan wasn't really hitting back, you know? So yeah, I think Yasmin Lucindo 115 is a good choice. Marcus said Lucinda going back down to strawweight. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, I think she was, put that little bit of weight on. It wasn't really good for her. Might have added to her power. But if you're just going to come up like that, it's not really going to help her against the better, more muscular and stronger. Well, not even muscular, but just physically stronger fighters at flyweight. So I think strawweight's going to force her to be more in tune, in tone shape, where she'll be stronger, have a better gas tank. Like Jillian Robertson, she's fit. Yasmin Lucindo versus Reschedule the Melissa Martinez fight. Vanessa Demopoulos, that's a good fight. Vanessa Demopoulos got heart. She's slick on the ground, like to go in there and throw wild bangers. Let's see if she can go in there and take the power of Yasmin Lucindo. So yeah, don't forget Demopoulos still in there. So I like to see that fight. Oh wow, I forgot Demopoulos is fighting Carolina in May. Y'all remember that? How many of y'all remember that? I forgot about that. Carolina Kobakevich and Vanessa Demopoulos' fight. I forgot about that. Hey. Let me see here. Who else is there for her to fight? Elise Reed's out there. Well, Elise Reed is fighting Jenu Fry in June. So winner of that fight. Who else? I mean, Yasmin definitely would have went for the finish in Lucindo's position. Yeah, I think she would have. I thought Yasmin Lucindo, she tried. She just couldn't get it. You know, the moments were still there, but maybe she was just like fighting a cautious fight there. She didn't want to, well, I wouldn't even say you have to really be cautious at that point because Brogan was kind of game to be knocked out, right? She was already busted up, bleeding over the eye. She really wasn't ready to go. She was ready to go. She really wasn't any type of threat at that point. But yeah, I forgot that Demopoulos is fighting Carolina, but there's a lot of other girls that names can't really cross my mind right now. Pierre Rodriguez, that's a good fight. Who else you got? Pierre Rodriguez, Sam Hughes, Denise Gomes, Bruno Brazil. Oh man, with the way Bruno Brazil looked against a brawling striker, I don't know. Bruno Brazil might get hurt by Yasmin Lucindo. For real. I don't know though, man. I like what Denise Gomes and Yasmin Lucindo are bringing to the table. Like they bringing some raw energy. Still got holes in their games, but sometimes that's what we need in the sport of MMA. We just need that pure raw energy sometimes. Like I think Yasmin Lucindo has some technique. Still needs work, but I like what she's doing. Slow down the special effects, slow down the spin kicks and the spinning back elbows. Just work on her pure striking. Develop a calf kick to chop her opponents down, and continue to work on, well, her grappling's pretty good, but I think, when she starts to make it known in this division, girls are going to be scared to fight her. Girls are going to be scared to fight this one, but yeah, just a little bit more work. And I think with the way she pushes in these fights, where she's so aggressive too, you'll see her control a lot of these fighters. And like I said, at 21, you can't really tell her nothing because she's been broken in since she was a teenager. She's been broken in since she was a teenager fighting in Brazil. So she's already got some levels that some of the older women don't have. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think she'll be a moneymaker. I think she'll be a tough fight. I think she'll be a tough fighter. Hopefully she'll be that new era of the top 15 coming. I hope so. I really don't see a bad matchup for her. Am I wrong again to see her that way? Like, what do you think, Zaman? Like, can she pretty much take on any match? Because you know how sometimes we say, oh, we don't want to put this striker in with a wrestler. We don't put this wrestler in with a striker. Like how Teresa Bleda got knocked out by Natalia Silva. That was a bad matchup. But to me, like Yasmin Lucindo, the way she approaches her fights, you could kind of put her in there with anybody. Just saying, because I don't really see like a set style with her, like where she's just committed to one thing. Yeah, she got to develop a jab. Develop a jab and a calf kick. I think those two things are important. Because right now, her right hand is on the money, but as the strikers get better, she's gonna have to develop a jab along the way. Gary said she beats all of the unranked strawweights. I think her fierceness, man, is like no other right now. I think her and Denise Gomes will be like going back to both of these fighters again. Denise Gomes and Yasmin Lucindo, like they're going after it in these fights, and that's the energy we needed again. Like when I saw Bruno Brazil kind of holding back in that fight, I was a little disappointed. We need to see fighters going after it again. Like when Joanna was coming up in the rankings and Claudia, like they were like scrapping. They're scrapping. Like Denise Gomes, she was in there scrapping. Like she was tearing Bruno Brazil up. And now you got Yasmin coming up in these rankings. She's letting it go. Like she's not letting the green show in her. She's not making any room. Of course, us, we see it. Like the hardcore fans will see like, okay, a couple holes in her game. But for the most part, like the way she's fighting through it, she's not giving you chances to expose anything. You say, yeah, she's a well-rounded fighter. Yeah, I think she's kind of tough for anybody right now. Like if you try to wrestle her, she's good. I think the best bet is like a top-notch striker, somebody's a little bit more polished like Yasmin. They'll probably be able to pull out the win. But if you try to give her too much room, if you stay on the back foot, she will capitalize. Yeah, Bruna's green. Yeah, she's green. But the difference is like she showed it. She showed that she was green. Like Yasmin Lucindo said, "Nah, I'm fighting through it." Denise Gomes is green, but she fought through it. You could see her IQ in that fight. Like she adjusted to the height, everything. He said, yeah, Yasmin Lucindo, I think, yeah, she's a little bit more well-rounded than Gomes. I think so. I just think that Gomes made some nice choices in that fight. Body head punches. There were some tight punches that she landed too. Like I ain't gonna lie, Denise Gomes, her punches have tightened up. They have tightened. But there are some moments where she stayed in that pocket. I can't remember who dropped her in the fight. I believe it was Invictus. Somebody dropped her. Did Olga Rubin drop her? No, not Olga Rubin. The other Russian girl, Dudieva. I can't remember Dudieva dropped. I know she finished Dudieva. I can't remember. But yeah, raw energy from them type of fighters. Denise Gomes and Yasmin Lucindo. That stuff is needed now. Definitely need that type of energy. But anyways, y'all, was there any other fights this weekend that y'all wanted to talk about? Like, was there another fight that I missed? Oh yeah, Norma Dumont and Carol Rosa, real quick. Norma. Okay, Norma. I picked Norma to win this fight, but she's still going out there in that fashion where it's hard for me to argue her to get any type of title shot. Like, definitely not a bantamweight because she's not a bantamweight. Featherweight, there's really not much for her to do because the level of competition she's fighting is really not getting her ready for Amanda Nunes, and now when she fights Akira Rosa, she has good moments. She wins a couple rounds, but then almost gets knocked out in the third round. There's still like those openings in her where I think, she's still not fully fleshed out as like this dominant fighter on the feet or on the ground. So I don't really see her bringing like this trouble to Amanda Nunes. And right there with the right hand, the way Carol Rosa lined it up, timing, man, timing. Like I said, that'll just set you up every time, especially if you got your hands down. Gary said Norman gets dogged by Nunes. Yeah, that's what I think. Like, the more I just think about it, I'm just like, it's not a good fight for her. The only reason it's even like an argument for is because it's just like by default. Norma's just kind of getting it by default. But when you look at like the people that she's beating, Danielle Wolf, and then looking like this against Carol Rosa, that doesn't really warrant a title shot. That's not like beating Holly Holm, Ketlin Vieira, Yana Kunitskaya, and then Irene Aldana. Now, if you beat like 4 or 5 of them in a row at 135, then I'd say, oh yeah, she deserves Nunes next. Okay, you beat Pena, Aldana, Pennington, 3-fight win streak, go get it. But here, just because you beat the scraps, the scraps that are around in this raggedy division, it doesn't really say, oh, you deserve a belt. What it's saying is you need to either get rid of this division or build this division. Like, let's say you fight Jocelyn Nunes and beat her. Does that warrant a fight against Amanda? No. Maybe if you had beaten Megan before and then beaten Felicia Spencer, maybe. But now, with the level of fighters she's fighting, girls that just coming in the featherweight, it's not really making an argument. I'd rather see her fight Chelsea Chandler right now. 145. See what she can do with her. It's nothing going on. So it doesn't really help. Carol Rosa's maybe a higher ranked bantamweight, but again, you see what she was able to do to her. So I don't really see Norma in like this pool to ask for a title shot, whether it be a 135 or 145. Definitely not 135. Because I think Holly Holm would beat her right now. I think Holly would beat her at 135 or 145. Yeah, I said it. I think Holly would probably out wrestle her at 145. Probably out strike her and out wrestle her at 135. I know people ain't going to agree that. Yeah, I think Holly would do it. Holly's kind of getting primed up in this later part of her career, which I still don't think she'll beat Amanda Nunes, but I think Holly could beat Norma Dumont for sure. He said, Norma can sit down. Gary said 145 is just 135 plus. Pretty much. I mean, they got them merged. Jocelyn, Norma, they're all ranked at bantamweight for whatever reason, right? It's crazy. Don't make any sense. You said Lucindo is more seasoned than most girls who debut in the UFC. Oh, yeah. 14-5, fighting since she was 16, fighting before her drinking age. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I said she's been broken. She's been broken in. She's a little bit more. She ain't afraid to get dirty. Gary said they need to call it women's heavyweight. Let's call it cruiserweight. Yeah, let's call it cruiserweight since you cruise between weights, Just combine 135 and 145, call it cruiserweight. So if you miss weight with 135, oh, you're a featherweight. with the craziness they got going on. I don't know though. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. Don't make any sense. Vacate that belt, man, and get rid of that thing. Ain't been defending that belt in what, 2 years? Let's see. Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. That card is this weekend coming up. Oh wow, I didn't know Emily Ducote versus. Oh yeah, Emily Ducote versus Poliana Viana. That got moved out. Okay. Haley Cohen versus undefeated Jamie Lynn Horth. Stephanie Edgar versus Irina Axleva. That's that Russian Ronda Rousey, right? That's all the women action we got next weekend. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But I'll probably jump back on tomorrow and do some videos and talk about some other stuff that I missed. Because a few fights I want to go back and watch. Ali Malay and Khan I want to watch again. And I want to talk about, like I said, the strawweight division, man. Like girls like Yasmin and Denise Gomes, like they're needed. We need fighters like that. And what else? Bunch of fight announcements coming up. Mandy Ebas and Macy Barber. Just a lot going on. I've been kind of going under. I got anyone against Cohen. I mean, this girl's undefeated that's coming in. Jamie Lynn Horth. They might be underestimating her. She's 5-0. And let me see. I think I've seen her fight a couple of times. Like, lower organization, and I've seen her fight in LFA before. That's about it. But yeah, I see if this girl has good jiu-jitsu, she might submit Cohen. Cohen's more of a clinch girl, but not really like this great grappler or great striker. So if you have good hands or if you're a good jiu-jitsu practitioner, you can submit her or outstrike her. But yeah, guys, that's all I got on this one. I'm about to get up out of here. Got to go eat. And like I said, be back on a little bit later because I still want to talk tomorrow. Hochidoka Derby, yeah, it sure is, right? Edgar and Russian Ronda. Who gets the first round on bar in that fight? Who gets the first round on bar? I am too, Gary. I'm kind of disappointed in Natalia's fighting Leonardo. She fighting another big slow girl. Another big slow girl that's not really well rounded or even a striker, pure striker that's going to test her. Jasmine, Teresa, now Victoria Leonardo. If she goes in here, stops her, they better give her a top 15 next. If she wins this fight, they better give her the number 13 Andrea Lee next. If they don't, I'm going to be pissed. They better give her or they better give Casey O'Neill. And Casey O'Neill is going to present the same type of style like Leonardo and the other girls, in my opinion. But the thing is, Casey O'Neill is ranked. And if Natalia Silva goes in here and blasts out Leonardo, she needs Casey O'Neill and Andrea Lee next. Okay? Because that's the type of fighter we need in the division. In the top 15. If she can stop her. Yeah, that guarantee's almost finished. I mean, Gatto's finished her. Manone's finished her. Aaron Blanchfield's finished her. Who else has finished her? I don't know. Those fighters that step out the box, though, like that, they finish. I think Natalia Silva finishes Victoria Leonardo, though. I do. So, yeah, if she wins this fight, doggone it, they better give her a top 15, man. They better give her Andrea Lee or Casey O'Neill. I don't even know if Casey O'Neill would want that fight. Do y'all think Casey O'Neill would want to fight Natalia Silva? I don't think so. I don't think the matchmakers would want that fight because I think they know how that would go. That'll be 3 unranked fighters. So she needs to fight Andrea Lee because she's the number 13. Tracy Cortez ain't nowhere to be seen. Miranda's fighting Jasmine herself, so give her 12 or 13. Give Natalia Silva 12 or 13. Especially if she goes in here and gets like this big finish over Victoria Leonardo. They're actually kind of going down with her. Better put Natalia Silva in this mix, man, because I think, she has a style and some good, good skill sets, man. BJ said, listening in the room with my dad. Oh, man. BJ, what's going on, man? Prayers to your father, man. I hope he's doing better. Hope he's recovering, man. Tell him I said that. If he is awake, just if not, don't disturb him. I hope, we're taking away some of the pain for you, BJ, or some of the stress. Marcus said, no, Natalia's bad style matchup for a wrestler. Ali Malay wasn't gifted. She won. I got to go back and watch the fight, BJ, but I'm going to take your word for it for now, since I didn't watch it fully. I know Ali Malay won the first round, but the third round was tight. I missed the second, so I got to watch it. Gary said Casey probably would fight her. Her team would probably say no, though. Yeah, that's how I see it. Like, I think the matchmakers, her team would say no. But yeah, she probably would have the heart to do it. Good. He's doing fantastic. All right. That's all right to hear, man. Yeah, I think, Natalia Silva deserves Casey or Andrea Lee next. If she beats Victoria Leonardo, though, that would be good. All right. So, yeah, I'm about to jump off of here, though. I am done for the night. Make sure y'all hit that like and that subscribe. And like I said, maybe you will catch me tomorrow or Tuesday. Definitely on Wednesday. But, I got to drop a couple videos because I'm going to give BJ my take on this Ali Malay Connor fight. I'm going to sit down and watch it now. I saw Vitamin D get subbed, BJ. I was like, oh, boy. That was punishment for not making weight. I'm just saying. That was punishment for not making weight. All right, y'all. Like always, Make sure y'all subscribe. Peace.